Welcome to today's video. Today, we are going to be playing with some old and some new products. I wanted to kind of dig into my makeup collection and pick up products that I don't necessarily use very often or I haven't used in a very long time, but were some old favorites of mine. And then I also want to play with some new products because I have been doing quite a bit of makeup shopping lately. One product specifically that I want to use on camera today and talk a little bit about is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. I picked up the shade 270 and I think it's a little dark for me. We're going to go ahead and use it today, but I do think I need to swing by and try a lighter shade of this. And then I'm going to be playing with some eyeshadows that I haven't talked about in my channel in so long, but I love them. I actually use them kind of fairly often, day to day. I wouldn't say day to day, but I use them off camera, and I haven't talked about them on camera in a long time, and I love them. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're just going to be getting ready and talking about old and new products. Before we do, let's just take a look at my skin. Skin is going to be a big focus for me on my channel over the next week or so. I talked about the P50 lotion that I'm loving. I raved about it and I really wanted to show you guys firsthand what I mean. This is my skin. This is 3 hours after I've applied my moisturizer. I don't have any makeup on my skin. This is just what my skin looks like 3 hours after a moisturizer and product. So I wanted to show you guys firsthand when I talk about that product really giving a glow. This is what I'm talking about. I am filming a current skincare routine, an updated skincare routine. So that'll be up soon as well. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna start with foundation, and I'm going to just do a pump of this on my hand, on the back of my hand. I have worn this one other time and I did like the way that it looked. It did look a little full coverage to me. So I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. Is this called a primer? I'm not quite sure what this is. It's called Flawless Filter. Basically, I use this underneath my foundation to add a little bit of a glow. What I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna kind of swatch a little bit next to the foundation. We are going to mix the two, and that is how we are gonna wear our foundation today. Let me find a large mirror, just one sec. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my finger and kind of mix these two together on the back of my hand, just to kind of evenly mix them together. Okay, and then I'm gonna start in the center of my face and kind of apply. Because this is a little bit more of a full coverage, I'm gonna try not to apply too much. And I'm actually gonna use my blender, Beauty Blender, to apply this foundation. I did use my BK Beauty 101 brush to apply it the other day and I liked it. I wanna see how the Beauty Blender applies it though, because it is a little more coverage and trying to see if I get more of a natural look from it. So I want to give you guys some updates on the 101 brush as we are currently sold out of it, but we are accepting back orders for it. So we do have our next order placed. They are in production, but we will not get them until November. So if you want to reserve yours today so that you'll get one of the first to ship out in November, you can back order them. Also, if you want to place an order and order other brushes, or you want to order the full collection, we'll go ahead and ship you all the brushes that we have in stock now, and we will ship you the foundation brush when we get it, and you will not be charged an additional shipping fee or anything like that. So basically you'll just have an order that processes in November, free of shipping. There won't be a charge, obviously, because you pay for it in advance, and yeah, that's how we are handling back orders. So I have had allergies for the last few days. It has been so bad. I'm kind of coming off of them, but it was like impossible to breathe for a few days there, which is really odd because I don't really suffer from allergies too much. Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna go to a brush because I felt like the Beauty Blender was just, I don't know, it wasn't giving me enough coverage. So I'm gonna go with the brush, and I'm actually just gonna dab the brush onto my hand rather than splotch it. And I'm going to just kind of press it into the skin. Yeah, this is better. I'm getting more coverage from this, and it's faster, taking less time to blend it out and make it even. Another video that is going to be coming your way soon in regards to skincare is my experience and results with a BBL treatment. I've had 2 BBL facials done in the last, I would say, 5 weeks or so. So I'm going to be sharing my experience a little bit more on that procedure. That's a procedure, that sounds a little dramatic, but on that photo facial, and I will be sharing with you some pictures so you guys can see kind of my before and after results from it. I've really been focusing on my skin the last couple of months, and I truly feel like I have brand new skin. I feel like my skin today is so different than it was 3 months ago. And you know, I always thought that I had pretty decent skin. Like I never really had any major skin concerns. I didn't have, you know, breakouts or like really bad pigmentation. I never really thought that I thought I had decent skin. And after doing these treatments and taking, you know, using different products, I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that I could improve my skin so much. Gosh, that sounds really, I don't mean to sound as arrogant as I think I'm sounding. Okay, I'm just gonna go and add a little more coverage here because I used the Beauty Blender here and it didn't quite give me enough coverage. Okay, perfect. Now, what I have been finding though is a lot of foundations that may be more of a matte finish tend to look more glowy on me lately. And again, I think it's my skincare products and all the things that I've been doing. But I do like the way this looks mixed with the Charlotte Tilbury. It is super, super glowy. Definitely gonna need to set it. But before I do that, I'm gonna apply concealer. I'm gonna go in and use the Fenty Beauty concealer. I have the shade 230, which I like. It's a bit lighter. So I use it on the days that I do want a little more brightness under the eye. And I'm just going to kind of apply that pretty liberally, quite a bit. I'm going to use my Beauty Blender for this. I really don't think that you can beat a Beauty Blender for concealer application. Sigma has a great brush. It's the F79 that I also like. But when you are dealing with a thicker, drier, or full coverage concealer, I just think the Beauty Blender is the way to go. All right, and I'm going to run a little bit of that over my eye. That's just the concealer. Press, press, press. Okay, perfect. So we're done with concealer and foundation. I'm looking in the mirror and I feel a strong need to set everything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with my Essence. This is one of the newer products I've been loving, Brighten Up Powder. And I'm actually gonna just, you know, really dip my Beauty Blender into that. And I'm gonna set under the eyes with that. That is just going to set and really amp up that brightening effect from the concealer. So to set the rest of my skin, I'm gonna use a powder that I haven't used in a long time. So now we're switching back to an older product that I loved and always raved about, but for whatever reasons, it's kind of gotten to the back of my vanity. It's the Danessa Myricks loose powder. I love this powder. It is fantastic. I have the shade 01, which is basically translucent. And I'm actually gonna use a powder brush to apply this. This powder is very, very lightweight. I find that it does blur texture in the skin like pores and make things look a little bit smoother. It is so lightweight. It does such a great job of just softly mattifying the skin without looking heavy or matte or very, very dry. So you can see that it just kind of cuts down that shine a bit, but you still do see that glow coming through. And I'm just using the 104 tapered powder brush, and I'm really using the side of it and just kind of pressing it almost as if it were my Beauty Blender. Okay, perfect. So next I'm gonna go and apply my bronzer, and I'm gonna grab an oldie, but definitely a goodie, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. As you can see, this guy is very, very, very loved, but has not been used in a while. And I'm gonna grab my BK Beauty 103 bronzer brush, and I'm really gonna dig it into this product. This bronzer is a bit on the lighter side, and we are almost at the end of it. So I'm gonna kind of turn my brush to just really make sure I pick up some product. And we're gonna just apply that right here on the sides of the cheek. I like this. One, it smells amazing. Two, it's just a very soft, natural, sun-kissed look. Not overly bronzed. You can't really go wrong with it. I'm gonna take it down on my neck. And then I'm going to take it kind of around my hairline of my face. Okay, perfect. So next I'm gonna go in and fill my brows in. I'm gonna do this off camera just for time's sake. So to prime the eyes, I'm gonna use a new product. It is the Catrice Eye Foundation. It's an eyeshadow primer. This is one of the newer eyeshadow primers that I've been using and really enjoying. I like when they make the application process really easy by providing this little applicator here. And I like that this one has a very, very slight tint. So while it's pretty transparent, it is going to brighten the lid a tad bit. So if you have darker eyelids, sometimes we have a little bit of like veins that you can see through there, purple, dark, almost like the under eye area. This will kind of give a nice little subtle brightening effect in case you don't want to wear shadow at all and you just want to pop this on. Okay, so for shadows today, I'm going to be working with Buxom eyeshadows, and I love this formulation of shadows. I feel like Buxom doesn't get hardly any love on YouTube. I really never see videos talking about these. And I have a few shades that I'll have all listed below. I'm going to work with this shade, oh, and of course they have little magnets. I'll have to list them below, you guys, so this video isn't 30 minutes long. And we are going to apply these on the eyes. They just have a really nice pigment payoff. They're very easy to blend. They last really well on me. I really, really like them. But first I'm going to kind of set all over the eyes with the Sydney Grace shadow I will have linked down below. It's pretty much just like a nice, you know, white bone color shade. So we're going to dust that all over the eye very softly. So next I'm going to create some definition in the crease and kind of build my my crease shade. So I'm going to use this shade by Buxom. This is what it looks like. It's kind of like this like warm peanut buttery brown shade. And I'm using a 202 brush just so I can get some nice definition. This shade is pretty, it's on the lighter side, so I can use a brush that's going to give a little more definition because it's not too dark. And I'm just going to work this back and forth into my crease. What I love about this brush is that it is going to give good definition, but it has a really fluffy tapered tip. So you're still going to be able to blend out and get a pretty and soft blended look. Perfect. So now we have like a nice soft veil of shadow. Then I'm going to go in and deepen it up a little bit, and I'm going to use this shade by Buxom, which is kind of more on the mauve-y shade. It's still a very nice transition shade, but it definitely leans a bit more like mauve-y purpley. So I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm just going to kind of build that right on the outer half of the eyelid. I don't want to completely cover the color that we just used. I just want to give a little more definition and depth in the outer corner. So now you can kind of see the definition that is being created. I still haven't applied anything on the lid. It looks a bit brighter because we applied that first shadow all over, but we still have yet to apply our crease color. So next I'm going to go in and I'm going to take my 203 brush and I'm going to load it up with this other shade by Buxom, which is probably my favorite shade. It is this very light, soft, kind of peachy sorbet shade. And I'm going to load the side of my 203 brush up. I just washed these, so whenever you just wash them, if they feel a little stiff, just run your finger over them and it'll soften and fluff them back up. Sometimes depending on the cleaner that you use, or if you don't really wash all of that cleaner out, it can stiffen the bristles. So just fluff it up with your finger and you're good to go. And then I'm going to kind of pack this onto the lid. Okay, so you can see what that has done. It's really, really brightened the lid up. I'm gonna go in and add even a little bit of a brighter shimmery shade on top. It's also by Buxom. This is what it looks like. It's kind of like that classic kind of pink champagne-y high shimmer shade. We're gonna use the same brush, load it up on the side, and for this, we're gonna really concentrate it just kind of right here in the inner corner, just to really highlight that inner corner of the eye and brighten it up. Now that we have all the shadows placed, it's time to go back and perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the 205 contour shader brush. It is a little bit larger than the 203, and you can see that it has this nice contour tip. And I'm actually going to use this in my crease. So I'm going to go back in with the more mauve shade, which is the deepest of the shades that we have used so far. And I'm going to load it up. I'm kind of going to load up the tip of this brush, and we're just going to go right in there and kind of create a little more definition. Do you see what that did? It created a little more depth. I tilted it so that the tip of the brush goes into my eye and the tapered or the contoured side kind of blends out that crease. And then it's just kind of going back and forth, comparing the two and making things a little even. Okay, the last thing I want to do is I want to brighten up the lid a little bit and make it a tad bit more peachy. So I'm going to go into this shade right here by Camera Ready Cosmetics. I'm just going to take my finger, and this is like a really pretty soft peachy pink, and I'm just going to kind of press it right there on the lid. So pretty. I think this like combination of like pastel peachy shades and this like purpley mauve is just so beautiful, especially on green eyes, because purple is going to complement green eyes, peach is going to complement green eyes. So next I'm going to line my eyes, but first, before we do that, I'm going to kind of comb through my lash extensions just to get them in place a little bit better. I'm in need of a fill, so they're a little wild right now. So we're going to grab one of my oldie, but one of my favorite liners. This is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. I haven't used this in a while. So we're just going to kind of lay this on its side, almost laying it on the lash extensions and creating the thinnest little line of liner. And I am going to pull it out slightly for a little bit of a wing. So for lower lashes, I'm going to run a shadow underneath my lashes to create a liner look. And I'm going to use our 204 Smudge It brush. This is by BK Beauty. And I am just running it right against my lash line. You can see that this brush picks up shadow and applies it in a way that mimics eyeliner. It just applies shadow so it just really applies like a punch of shadow. So you really get like high color payoff, but it still has this very tiny, soft, dense fibers, so it'll soften it out. It won't be harsh. It'll almost be as if you've taken an eye kohl pencil, drawn a line, and then smudged it out with a brush. Okay, so I want to deepen that a little bit. I'm basically just going to take a deeper eyeshadow. Okay, I am gonna apply mascara, and yes, I'm gonna apply mascara on my lash extensions. I know, it's like a big no-no, but I need my lashes to look even, and right now they are a little wild. So for blush, I'm gonna apply a blush color that was one of my all-time favorite colors that I actually have not talked much about on YouTube at all. It is by Laura Mercier, and it is the shade Rose, and it is this really pretty, like, soft, peachy pink shade. It is so beautiful. And I'm going to use the 104 blush brush, and I'm just going to apply that right onto the cheeks. This was like probably my most used blush for a long time. I just love the color. It gave enough color, but not too much. Okay. And for lips, I'm going to use a new lip product that I am loving. It is by Honest Beauty, and it is their liquid lipsticks, the new formula of liquid lipsticks that they came out with in the shade Off Duty. I'm pretty sure I talked about this in my favorites video. I really, really love this shade and this formula. It's so nice. Okay, and the last tip that I'm gonna do that I haven't done in a YouTube tutorial in so long, but I swear this was like something I would do all the time, is apply a brightening pencil in my inner rim waterline. And I'm using the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter. The only reason I got away from doing this is because my eyes got so sensitive and red and irritated that I tried to eliminate products that like went directly in my eye, this being one of them. But I don't know if you've been watching my channel for a while, you will probably remember when I was like obsessed with this technique. I think it is so beautiful. I think it just adds, one, it brightens up the eye area, makes you look more awake, more open, but also if you have a dark liner on your lower lash line, that contrast of dark and brightness, I think is like the ultimate glam eye. It really reminds me of like pageant makeup. I don't know why, but it just really reminds me of pageant makeup. I did a few pageants in the past, and that was a technique we always did just to make their eyes like pop and sparkle. All right, you guys, and that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was super fun to play with some old favorites and some new favorites. I need some video ideas. I've been just trying to keep my head above water lately, that I need to kind of plan out some more content ideas. So I would love your suggestions in the comment section below. Tell me what type of videos you guys want to see. As you've noticed, I've done kind of a lot of get ready with me videos and tutorials lately, just because they're kind of easy to sit down and just do. But let me know if you want some specific kind of well-researched videos, or if you want some videos on technique, things that I can really break down and teach you guys about makeup. I would love to know in the comment section below, or favorites or specific favorite categories, things like that. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.